hey, listen, here's a flavor you've never tried before. And this is not some kind of fancy thing. It's something just real that people have been doing for hundreds of years at this point. My friend Martin Cade always says sugarcane is the magical grass. And it's true. It can be something that you can have food out of or drinks out of. It's something you can give to animals. It's something that has so many uses.
So cachaça is made from fresh pressed, cut, fermented, and distilled cane. Cachaça itself is earthier, it's drier, it has very much a sense of place. And the process is so historical and been done this way for so long.
Cachaça is the earliest, one of the earliest spirits in the New World, maybe the earliest.
It's very impressive to have this process and still be able to produce decent quantities with great quality. And the beauty is in the simplicity, I think. Mineral water flows down and powers a water wheel that powers the crusher that churns the cane. There's a fermentation for 24 hours with airborne yeast, so ambient, naturally found yeast. The spent cane, the bagasse, fires the still, and the rest is gravity fed. So there's no electricity used in this process. And then there's a single distillation in an alembic pot still. We then put that cachaça into different vessels. For the prata, the unaged, it goes into stainless steel to rest and to solidify.
If you go to the area where Avuá is made, it's in a massive forest with thousands and thousands of different species of plants. And many of them they've used for hundreds of years at this point to age this spirit in. And so today there's 30 different types of woods they use to age cachaça. And they taste so different.
Cachaça is aged in 30 plus types of wood. So we have French oak, which was kind of the first type, but then many native woods that we work with, including Amburana, Balsamo, Jequitiba Hosa, and Tapi Noir. And these barrels have really unique flavor profiles to them. They are larger, 3,000, 5,000 liter barrels with no toasting or charring. So they impart this truly unique flavor to the cachaça.
The woods give a sense of place which is unique. Some of these trees which make the barrels, which have the distillate, which go into someone's glass, have historically come from the farm where they produce Avuá. So when you start to taste through these things, that to me is the magical world of cachaça.
So the farm is a magical place. It's incredibly beautiful, very remote. Joining us on this trip are a few key bartenders, bar directors, or owners of some places in the US, and then some rum enthusiasts.
We are right now in the middle of the mountains in Brazil.
We're in the farm and distillery that actually makes Avuá cachaça.
What's nice to see in a real proper artisanal cachaça setup is that techniques were created hundreds and hundreds of years ago that are actually just as smart and logical today. For example, just designing your distillery to take as much advantage of gravity as possible. Cane press on the highest level, fermentation on the next level down, distillation on the next level down, so that you're minimizing energy usage. Start by tasting it neat. Enjoy it because it really helps capture the essence of the raw material. It really captures the wonderful vibrancy and grassiness and fresh sweetness of sugarcane.
And I think cachaça brings that. It brings like this green earthiness terroir to to a spirit that is something new, and I think at this time and an age is something that's really exciting.
We really like to think about each mark as different. So the Prata versus the Amburana versus the Balsamo, they express themselves so differently in cocktails. I really like to have people try them in classic cocktails. A Prata with a Negroni is an unexpected but really interesting profile. Amburana in a Manhattan. Again, it works, but it plays differently. Balsamo in a Last Word or a gin-style cocktail. So our mission is encouraging people to think beyond this one drink that everyone knows, to start by playing with classics and go from there, and to really understand how it can perform.
I definitely see the cachaça as a key component on cocktails when it comes to complexity, depth, and all different notes.
Also, in exploring all the different notes, like the Amburana is probably one of the products that we use the most. It's this indigenous wood from Brazil that has almost like a dusty, cinnamony, slightly vanilla quality to it. It's almost like a cocktail in a glass.
And getting that experience as if you're on the farm in Carmo in Rio de Janeiro, like just eating a piece of cane. And that's something that, yeah, you might be sitting in New York, you might be sitting in Chicago, you might be sitting in Mitte in Berlin, and you're gonna have the same experience. This magic grass in one little dose. And help express what this little slice of Brazilianness, of Brasilidade for the world.